Right. Well, hello, my friends. How's everybody doing? I'm going to try to get comfy here. I got a couple things that I wanted to get done here, and I guess I'm actually thought I would sit and chat while I did a few things. A couple of years ago, I used to do videos while I was like trimming my weed, because it gave me something to do. There's a way to talk, you know. It's a little bit of entertainment, keep myself busy. Right now I'm cleaning off my vape. Nasty. Things get nasty. So I wanted to talk a little bit about life. The phases that we go through. You know, I've mentioned a few times about how I feel about these things, like embracing things when they come, and I guess taking it when it comes. I don't really know how else to put it, you know, like instead of trying to force life into giving us the things that we think we deserve, or maybe even the things we think we desire, because often they're not exactly what we thought. We find out that we thought we wanted a new, you know, this or that, and then we find out it doesn't make us happy. A lot of people, it takes them a while to realize that our perspectives are pretty skewed on what we think will make us happy. And I can only speak for myself, and that's one of the toughest things about talking about various philosophies on life, is that people can say things like, you know, well, that's your subjective situation, and most philosophers realize that a lot of it is just a personal thing, you know, that it's not something that everyone shares. As far as, let's say, let's talk about one person who's trying to figure out how he can deal with his drug addiction, and another person has, let's say, a money addiction or a greed addiction. Of course, everybody's got a little bit of everything, because you could tie those two in together. You know, greed is, let's just say money, or the idea of getting money, or say shopping, or this can produce, you know, let's just say brain chemistry, neurotransmitters, dopamine. It can be like trigger the reward center in the brain, which makes you want to do it more. So perhaps doing cocaine and shopping aren't that much different from each other. But it's damn easier to justify shopping. A person could say, well, you know, shopping's not going to kill me. And say, well, no, of course not. Everybody has to give and take what they consider to be, I don't know. We all make excuses. Just put it that way. We all make excuses for the things that we do that maybe we know we shouldn't do, or that, like, let's say for me as a person who really is conscious of all my habits, all the things that I do, I'm always searching for my intention of why I'm doing things. And that can be a little bit daunting sometimes, because, you know, when I've spent a lot of time around, let's say, people in my younger years, friends that maybe didn't know what they wanted. Let's say none of us really did. And then some of us start to realize that life's about more than just gaining possessions, that life's about experience. It's about getting out and meeting people. But it's also about correcting your mistakes as you go. And in the past, I've had friends that didn't mend their mistakes or weren't willing to. And for me, that's kind of like a signal to maybe part ways with that person. You know, the people that I grew up with that I truly, you know, even some people that maybe I don't share the same values with completely, as long as they have some of the core values that I'm interested in. And that sounds a little bit arrogant, that I'm interested in. I should say what I mean is the core values that I hold dear to myself, that I think are important for all of us. And these would be like no lying, cheating, stealing, things like that. And so while we all have our own problems and we've all got our own solutions to them, there are general guidelines to how to live a better life. And we can learn a lot from people who came before us. Now let me tell you this, I'm a stubborn son of a bitch. I mean, I've really tried hard over the years to become more patient with people and more tolerant. I'm very open to other people's ideas. I'm very, I consider myself open-minded. If somebody can show me something, I'm not going to close my eyes because it's something that I don't want to believe. That would be preposterous. But when the evidence is lacking, let's say, for example, a person may call me closed-minded because I don't believe in the flat earth theory. This is a perfect example because I've had that happen a few times. And I'd say, how much do I want to try to explain my point of view here? And how much energy do I want to give to saying, but no, I've done the research. I know what I'm talking about. Because when I sit back and think about it, rather than just firing my mouth off, I realize, rather than saying, am I right in a situation, I really ask myself, does it matter? That's a super crucial thing. If there's anything that I found that really helps me, it's pick your battles. And that's what I mean by that. You hear somebody say something and you think, oh, that's not true. I know that's not true. And it doesn't have to be anything that's related to, flat earth was just one example. Just that if people want to believe what they want to believe, let them. It's not going to change my viewpoint. And as long as I'm not harming anyone and no one's harming me, I'm totally cool with it. But I found for a lot of people that's not good enough. A lot of the world, they want to push their views on you, I guess even I could use an example. Let's say vaping here. I know that vaping's probably not 100% healthy, but I do it anyway. I realize it's just another one of my habits and addictions, but that I smoked for 25 years. And then I say, well, I can vape because I smoked for so long and this is better for me. But there will always be somebody who will come along and say, but don't you know that vaping's bad too and you should really quit vaping? Now, I've had people say things like that. And in the years past, I was always quick to stand up for myself, of course. And I still am, but it never gets to me when other people want to tell me what I should be doing with my life. It's... the only time it matters is if it's somebody that is misunderstanding me and it's maybe harming our relationship as friends or something. If somebody thinks I feel a certain way about them and I don't, I'll take the time to express how I feel. And if somebody expresses concern over, let's say, something I do in my life, I ask, is it bothering you? Or, do you have a valid point? And that's how we learn from each other. It's okay to resist. I find a lot of people push everyone away when they tell them things that they don't want to hear. And a lot of us do that. I think that, we're all a little guilty of that. What it comes down to is distinguishing whether what other people are telling you, whether the reason you don't want to hear it is because it's true or because it's not. But there's a lot of judgment out there. And in the world right now, we're in a pickle. I mean, what's going on out there is nothing new. There's always been division, but it seems like it's clear as day right now, and that people are finding any excuse they can to release their inner demon, I guess, if you will. Whoops. I made a mess on myself. They want to just kind of admit how they truly feel in their hearts, and I think that that's great. I think that people need that. We all need that. We need to be able to express how we truly feel. But it's bringing out a lot of resentment, anger, hostility, hatred for one another that's unwarranted. And, I've been really thinking about this lately a lot, where we're at as, as a people, not a nation. A lot of you are in different nations, different places. But where we're at as a people, what the fuck is going on here? How did we get to this place where we're all... we're all fighting amongst each other, but we always have been. And I'm going to get to the point here. As soon as I get back, I got to rinse my hands off. Be right back. All right. Sorry. That's what these videos, that's why I guess I don't know. I haven't edited any of these videos in a while, and every time I think about doing it, people are like, no, don't edit them. So, I'm glad I don't. I'm just a human. Sometimes I lose interest in making videos for a little while, and lately I've felt that way. And in the last couple of days I haven't really, every time I think about making one, I'm like, meh, you know, I have to find a spot to do it and keep my thoughts organized. And in the past, it's, you know, it comes naturally, and I just, you know, I'm like, I have something to talk about, and I make a video. So, I think it was a successful transfer. Oh my God. That's the thing about vaping, man. If you don't even notice that your coils are nasty until you're like, replace them and replace the cotton. You're like, oh my God. So much pressure. But, so anyhow, back to being human. Smoke out of your face here. I don't know how to talk about these issues, and I guess that's why I just ramble on about being human, because it's like I don't know how to express myself or how I feel. I have these really, what I consider deep insights, satori's, awakenings, moments. Last night I had one as I was falling asleep where I woke up and just understood that the universe must be conscious. It was, and all is one, the Big Bang, the whole, everything. It's just all-encompassing. It was a knowing, and instantly I let it go and realized this is one of those knowings that you can never express or explain and never prove. And that through many discussions I've had with people, a lot of folks will come to the same conclusion that, you know, people have asked, what do you mean? Like I heard somebody ask somebody the other day, what do you mean that knowing leads to believing? Because somebody was saying that you have to believe, and we were talking about religions, and that's actually for my next video. It's going to be specifically about religion. After somebody who had, Griffin, who had sent a reply video to one of my videos about religion, and I really wanted to explain my point better on that. But that we're all just people, and when we have realizations, they're not always conveyable in language. And that the knowing leads to believing. What that means is sometimes you have to have something happen to you that's just so big and so deep and so all-encompassing that you can't even open your mouth to express it. That was like that thought I had about the universe being conscious, how, you know, it goes back to old philosophies about the prime mover. You use the term prime mover, and people associate it with God, and you can get into all the different religions and you know, try to pinpoint things and that's where we get caught up. It's just certain things you just know, and there's no sense in trying to prove it, no sense in trying to convince anyone of it. But you want to, because you want people to feel that same joy. And I think this often happens with religion too, but it's not just religious based. It's people. It's a person thing. It's individuals. But if you're not seeking it, you will not find it. You have to know the questions to the answers that you want first. And, you know, at almost 42, I'm still figuring those out, too. So anyhow, I'll end this video now and get into the next one, because I think I've got my thoughts flowing now. I can get back into my groove, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Have a wonderful day.